All right, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Real Talk video. I pray everybody's having a wonderful, blessed day as we give the Most High all the honor, the glory, and all the praise and worship. My title now says, where is Yeshua's historical evidence? Did Yeshua really exist? Where is the evidence? And I want to give a shout out to Brother Daelon. First of all, welcome, brother, and I apologize for getting back so late, with this question. I'm still, catching up on a lot of questions. And you say, where is the historical evidence? Why is it you can't find nothing else about Yeshua in any other history books? A man that was so great, so awesome, that done so much. Why is it you can't go to certain places and read about it other than the Bible? And first of all, brother, that's not a stupid question. At all, it's not stupid. I actually love this question because it makes you think. Why can't you find anything other than the Bible that speaks about what he done? Now, brother, I don't really know how you are, but for me, just speaking, the Bible is pretty much all the evidence that I need. Now, I understand a lot of people need a whole lot of evidence for a lot of different things. And I'm going to get into this question in a minute, but I want to say this off top because as long as we are living, each day that goes by, this word of the Most High proves itself to be so true every day. Everything is happening according to the plan of the Most High. And then you just look around, it seems like even people that don't believe, everybody is still trying to use the Bible in some kind of way to prove their point. They still got to go by the Most High's word. When you go to court, they want you to swear on the Bible. Even a lot of scientists, they are coming out now saying, man, this Bible is something to this Bible because you can't teach the creation without the Creator. So I want to say that off top, the proof is in the Bible. It's in the Word. In the beginning, it was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was the Most High God, Yahweh. Let me put the Most High where the Most High need to be put, in that high place, that Elohim, Yahweh, I am the I am, he told Moses. And but when you think about this, the evidence that you're talking about, and I like how you said there is nobody left alive that could sit here with us right now as an eyewitness that could tell you about back then. Well, brother, I see this topic being debated on all the time. All the time. Now, let me answer your other question off top before we get into this, because you asked me, am I like some of these Christian people who hate when people ask them questions and run them off? No. On my page, brother, I'm going to just say this. You can ask me anything you want on my page. First of all, I don't put myself in the Christian category and act like those Christians. Nothing against Christians. And no offense to the real ones who are really following, but you got a lot of people claiming to be Christians who are just terrible. Live a terrible lifestyle. So I'm not like them. You know what I'm saying? I am a true believer. I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. So I'm not here to debate, with this topic, like you were saying. So no, this don't run me off, and I'm not going to run you off. Like I said a minute ago, first of all, welcome. You can ask me anything you want on her. I don't care what the topic is. So now, like I said, I've had atheist people on my page who's converted over to being a true believer. And I'm going to tell you this, if you hang on her long enough, if you listen long enough and follow along, you might learn something, because I'm always learning something as the Most High speak through me. And I'm not saying that to boast and brag, but I see where you're going with your email, and you say you leaving all that atheist stuff alone and you starting to see truth. Hey man, if I could say anything to bring you more close to the truth, to the Most High be the glory. So, and once again, welcome. Now, when you think about this, there is a reason why so many people won't believe in the Bible because they'll say they can't find no real proof. And the Bible to them is just stories. Ain't nothing but stories, made up stories. Like I heard about Noah's flood, it never happened. Sodom and Gomorrah, it never happened. But when you go over to those cities right now, they never grew back right. There is still evidence in the land of Sodom and Gomorrah where it was just a wasted land and never grew back. Nothing else ever happened over there because once the Most High destroyed it, that was it. Now people are making up all kind of stuff to tell you what they think. But you hear people all the time, well, how do you know the Bible is true? You know, what makes you think the Bible is true? It had to be wrote by somebody. How did you know they was right? See, everything, brother, is going to be taken by our faith. Now, I want to point out some things to you. Now, to answer your question, let's understand this. Because I got to go back to AD 70. Long time ago. Let's go back to AD 70, Brother Daelon, when everything got destroyed pretty much. Now, to answer your question, now, once again, I don't know it all. But this is I'm going to take a good opinion on this. That's why I said, let me add my opinion on this because I wasn't there back then and I don't know it all. So, when back in AD 70, when everything got destroyed, we got to go back to the Romans. Those Romans, when they destroyed Jerusalem, pretty much most of Israel, look at how many people they killed. They burnt the cities down to the ground. Everything was burnt. Now, brother, they didn't have computers like we do. They didn't have USB junk drives and to store things, all this new technology like we have. So when it got destroyed, everything that got destroyed, it got destroyed. They didn't have safes. They can put things in a safe like the safes we have that won't catch on fire. So when the Romans took over and destroyed everything, any amount of evidence that you had was gone. It got destroyed. So whatever, once again, evidence that they have of Yeshua, how was they going to keep it? So all we have pretty much is the Bible. Now there is some more. I might need to do a part 2 on this because there are some people that you can look up and get off into about, you know, evidence of the Bible. And some of y'all already know their name and who I'm talking about. But think about all the eyewitnesses. What happened to them? Now, so many people I know, they want me to prove that Yeshua existed without the Bible. That's just like when you talk about history. You got this so-called American history that they teach you in school. And then you have Bible history. You cannot, I mean, when you look at those two, they don't even match up at all. Because biblical history is way different than what they're talking about in these schools now. They talking about certain people. But when you start talking about biblical history, you start talking about Israel, the chosen ones, learning who you are. Then that's why in school they didn't teach us the Bible. How could they? So they kept the one that they wanted to keep, and they put the Bible down. Now, when you start looking at atheist people, they love to tell you that, hey man, your Bible is a lie. There is no God. But a lot of those same atheist people, when I work beside them, when something happened in their life, oh God. Well, I didn't mean to say that. Yeah, you did. Or my thing is, if you don't believe in the Most High, why do you spend so much time trying to convince people that there is no Most High? For me, if I don't care about something, I'm not going to waste time at all trying to convince somebody about it. That's why I don't argue the Bible with people. I let people go on about their business. They want to fuss and debate. I let them look stupid on their own. Because it's not about me winning no arguments. I'm supposed to be winning souls for the Most High. God told me the other day that Yeshua never existed. Now, check this out because I want to prove a point with this. They'll tell you that you can't prove that Yeshua ever existed. Now, let me think of somebody they always talk about. Alexander the Great. Let's use him for an example. Okay, we always heard the atheist people tell you that he didn't, Yeshua didn't exist. You don't have no proof. Now, when you look at somebody like Alexander the Great, how do you really truly know that he existed? Because all you have of him is what? Ancient manuscripts that mention them and claim to be the copies of their original writings. But how do you know if that's true or not? You see my point? Just like all we have is the Bible, all they have is ancient manuscripts that mention them and claim to be copies of their writings. But who know if that's true or not? My point is, when you start talking about Alexander the Great, you're not going to have too many people say, oh, he didn't exist. But if you say Yeshua, then you get a whole lot of people to say that, nah, man, that wasn't true. Those was just stories. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing if you look at it. But once again, the Bible is speaking for itself. Everything, once again, is going according to the Most High's plan. That's why I say I have to laugh, because people put the Constitution over the Bible. But then what do you hear about America? It was founded on what? Is it really Christianity? See, once again, when you continue to study, big brother, you will see how what you was taught, when you start looking at the truth, what you was taught about he didn't exist, or the more and more you tap into Yeshua, the Bible, if you are really being led, the more truth you will see, the more of that stuff you was taught growing up, you'll forget about it. When you start talking about the four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, that's where a lot of atheist people get mad. They get heated up because the four Gospels is testifying about so much. The New Testament, or we could say New Covenant, those documents was written shortly after the life of Yeshua. Now we can say Yeshua died around AD 33. Then you take a book like, that's very powerful, Acts. Acts is a very powerful book. It's a history book of the early church. A lot of people don't understand that Acts is a history book about the early church. That's why a lot of people on my page get mad when I start talking about the early church, because what we call church now is nothing like what they had in the early church when they went from home to home. The way they had church done back then versus what you call church now is totally different. And when you teach the way they had church, then it makes a lot of people mad. And even in the book of Acts don't record the destruction of Jerusalem back in AD 70, like I was talking about earlier. A lot of people say, well, Yeshua was just a myth. Now, as I close, brother, this is the thing. I tell people all the time, you're either going to believe or you're not going to believe. That's your choice. That's it. All I know is this. It's by faith. Believing in what we can't see, which is eternal. I can't see the wind, brother, but I sure can feel it. I can even hear it whistling when it's coming hard up against the house. Now, for me in my house, we're going to serve the Most High. So, very good question, brother. That's the best I can come up with, just speaking in general, that when those Romans destroyed everything, we don't know what all got destroyed. That's why you hear all this talking about Constantine. Or you hear this talking about why these books wasn't put in the Bible. Or why is it Christians act like pagans? Who put all these holidays in to mess up with the holy days? That's why you got all this confusion. The devil loves confusion. Brother, you have a wonderful, wonderful, blessed day.